What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another top 20 list where we're counting down the strongest Dynasty Warriors weapons of all time from all of the Dynasty Warriors games. That's right, I made a conglomerate list from every single weapon that I could pull and came up with 20 weapons that are the strongest in the game. Now technically there's going to be like 50 because some of the weapons in the games have equal stats. Now for the list I'm going off of just base attack alone. We're not talking about elements, we're not talking about specials, we're not talking about things like that that would enhance a weapon's ability because I don't know every single weapon's abilities. It would take a long time to research all of that, and I personally haven't played with all the weapons. So you're not going to see like South's Dynasty Warriors 3 fourth weapon just because it has the death element on it. So we're looking at base attack level, and I'm ranking it based on the relativeness of the game. So for example, let's say Dynasty Warriors 3, the highest base attack for that game for any weapon is 60, right? So if a character has 60, that is obviously the strongest weapon from the game, and then based on the percentage of whatever number it is, so if somebody has like 59 or like 57, they'll have like a 97, 98%, and then I just ranked it based on the numbers that we have. So we have towards the top of the list is obviously the best weapons for each game, and then after that it's the subsequent best versions based on the base attacks for each of the weapons that are given. Hopefully that makes sense as we go through it. Maybe it'll make a little more sense, but that was the best way I can even it out, so that way every game is on the same playing field. Because for some games, like the earlier games, you only have like a strong power level of like, again, 50, and then like for Dynasty Warriors 9, their attack powers exceed like 500. Anyway, all the information that I got was from the Koei wiki, so if I have anything wrong, let me know down below, but I'm assuming that's a very accurate place to get information from. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start off with an honorable mention like we always do. The honorable mention that was coming in is going to be from Dynasty Warriors 8. The name of the weapon is the Violet Storm. It might have been Violent, I don't know if it was a typo, but it's wielded by Miss Guan Yin Ping. So the base attack power for that weapon was a 68, giving it an 86% kind of scaling level. I believe the max for Dynasty Warriors 8 is 79, so Guan Yin Ping barely squeaks into the honorable mention list, and her weapon from Dynasty Warriors 8, her sixth weapon, the Violet Storm, is coming in at the honorable mention. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the top 20 strongest weapons of all time from Dynasty Warriors. Alright, starting off at number 20, we're going to visit Dynasty Warriors 5. The weapon's name is the Mad Bull. Can you guys guess who this is? Power level of 36 out of, I believe the max is a 40, and it is wielded by the monstrous Dion Wei. So Dion Wei has one of the strongest weapons from Dynasty Warriors 5 at the base level, and that's pretty much it. Let's go and move on to number 19. Coming in at number 19, we've got three people with the same power level coming in from Dynasty Warriors 7's. The three weapons are the Divine Dragon, the Hell Splitters, and the Jade Stars. That's going to include the characters of Guan Yu, Dion Wei, and Wei Yan. Now technically, because the game had clones, I think Wei Yan or Zhang Fei can use the Jade Stars, and then Guan Yu's weapon from Dynasty Warriors 7 Extreme Legends, so he's just actually a unique weapon. I don't think anybody shares the axe with Dion Wei. So we have Guan Yu, Dion Wei, technically Wei Yan's weapon because it is the same one that he would use instead of Zhang Fei style. Coming in with a 91 power out of a max of 100, putting them at the 19th spot. Some strong characters. Dion Wei makes the list again in Dynasty Warriors 7. That's all I have. Let's go and move on to number 8. Next up, coming in at number 18, we're visiting Dynasty Warriors 9. That's right, Dynasty Warriors 9 made the list a couple of times out here. We got 4 characters that share the same base attack power with their weapon, and the weapons are going to be the Crushing Blade, the Soaring Dragon, the Fang Crusher, and the Dark Piercers. And these are all wielded respectively by Zhang Fei, Guan Ping, or you can also say Xiaoba, he also has it as well, Xu Huang, and Miss Wang Yi. They all have a power level of 528, and the max base level that I saw on the website was 576. I'm going to put all of them here at the 18th position. Definitely surprising to see Wang Yi up so high with their DLC weapon. That's probably why I like them so much, because damn, I did not expect her weapon style to be that strong. And yeah, that's all I got for number 18. Let's go and move on to number 17. Now, moving into number 17, back down to the classic Dynasty Warriors 3. Looking at the 5th weapons for these two characters. They both have a power level of 46, and the weapons are the Seven Seas Blade and the Twin Stars. The Seven Seas Blade is wielded by Mr. Gan Ning, and Wei Yan's going to appear once again with his Twin Star weapon from Dynasty Warriors 3, making them among the strongest weapons from that game period. And that's all I have for that. Let's go ahead and move on to number 16. All right, coming in at number 16, we've got one person by himself. He's the only person that has this base attack with the weapon known as Gold Wyvern from Dynasty Warriors 5. I'm sure you guys all recognize the weapon. That's going to be wielded by Mr. Zhang Liao. So Zhang Liao coming in at number 16. He had a power level of 37. Again, the max for Dynasty Warriors 5 was a 40. He was the only character with the weapon that had a 37 base attack. So that's going to put him here alone at number 16. Let's go ahead and move on to number 15. Next up, coming in at number 15, we have another lone officer getting a unique power attack of 47 with the weapon known as the Serpent Blade from Dynasty Warriors 3. And I didn't mention it earlier, but Dynasty Warriors 3 max power level for a weapon is 50. And Zhang Fei is going to sit here alone at number 15 with a power level of 47 when he wields his 5th weapon, the Serpent Blade, from Dynasty Warriors 3. Moving on. All right, next up at number 14, we've got a bunch of people on this one. I think there's 5 officers here, and they all come from Dynasty Warriors 5. They all have the base level of 38. And the weapons that are being showcased for this one is the Stone Crusher, the Blue Moon Dragon, the Marauder, the Stallion Fury, and the Tiger Slayer. I'm sure you guys can recognize most of these, but we have Shu Chu, Guan Yu, Shu Huang, Ma Chao, and Taisha Tse coming in at number 14. They all have unique weapons in Dynasty Warriors 5, so I don't have to worry about any copies here. All these characters had base attack levels of 38 with their best weapon from Dynasty Warriors 5, and that's going to earn them the number 14 spot for the strongest weapons from Dynasty Warriors of all time. Let's go ahead and move on to number 13. Now, making its first appearance from Dynasty Warriors 4, we have a base level for all these weapons. We got about 5 more people once again. A base level of 57. Max level for Dynasty Warriors 4 is 60. And these 5 characters wielding the Divine Dragon, the Comet Strike, the Marauder once again, the Stallion Fury once again, and the Horror are going to make the list here at number 13. That's going to be Guan Yu, Wei Yan, Shu Huang again, Ma Chao again, and Dong Zhuo. That's right, Dong Zhuo coming in with these heavy hitters. I guess it makes sense. He's a big guy. You know, he can swing a weapon pretty hard, I guess. It was a cool looking weapon too. I don't mind it. But Guan Yu repeats the list. Wei Yan, Shu Huang, and Ma Chao. Similar weapons from Dynasty Warriors 5, making the list again. Very strong weapons, and the proportion for this weapon is actually the exact same from the last number. So 57 over 60 is a 95% strength level, just like the previous number when they all had 38 over the 40, which is also a 95% level. So technically these 2 weapons are tied in terms of their power level. Now, moving on to number 12. All right, next up coming in number 12, we're back down to only 3 people coming in. Back over to Dynasty Warriors 3. Base attack level of 48, and the 3 weapons that are being showcased is the Shadow Beast, the Tempest Sword, and the Dragon God. So these are the 3 level 5 weapons that are acquired from Dynasty Warriors 3 Extreme Legends, and they are wielded respectively by Mr. Meng Huo, Xiahou Dun, and Zhang Liao. So they scaled up to 96%, having a 48 over a 50, and that's going to put them here at number 12. Over to number 11, we've got 3 more characters making this little slot. We've got a power level of 58 from the game Dynasty Warriors 4. Again, the power level max for that is 60, and the 3 weapons that are being showcased for number 11 is the Bull Rampage, the King of Beasts, and Venom. And they are wielded respectively by Dian Wei, Meng Huo, and Zhang Fei. Definitely a bunch of heavy hitters, some big guys. They swing pretty hard, they're pretty strong. And them being here right before the top 10 definitely makes sense. I mean, they got some pretty strong weapons. Now, breaking into the top 10, we've got a lone character once again, having a base attack of 39 from Dynasty Warriors 5. The only character to have their best weapon having a base attack of 39. The weapon name is the Viper Blade. That is correct. Zhang Fei is going to appear once again to take a spot in the top 10. And his Viper Blade from Dynasty Warriors 5 is among the strongest weapons in Dynasty Warriors ever. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, next up we got another crowded list here. 5 characters once again up to bat. The game is Dynasty Warriors 7, and the base attack level for these characters' weapons are 98. And again, the max level for Dynasty Warriors 7 is 100. So we got some pretty strong characters here. First one, Destroyer of Armies, followed by Tiger's Pride. Then the Imperial Honor. Then we have the Soul Shredders and the Hellfire Cannon. And these weapons are going to be respectively wielded by Zhang Fei, Taisha Tse, Guan Ping, or Xiaoba, Ding Feng, or Meng Huo, and Guo Hawaii. Alright, so these are the characters that are making the number 9th strongest position for Dynasty Warriors weapons of all time. Definitely some surprising ones. I did not expect Guo Hawaii's weapon to be that strong. Ding Fong and the gauntlets, I was interesting to see as well. We've already seen Zhang Fei, Taichi Sun, Guan Ping. They wield big weapons, are pretty strong. I was actually surprised to see Taichi Sun's weapon so high up. I did not realize that his best weapon from Dynasty Warriors 7 is actually extremely powerful, so definitely interesting to see him up there. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to number 8. Alright, dropping back down to Dynasty Warriors 3, we have the second strongest weapons from Dynasty Warriors 3, and that's going to be the Beast Axe and the Divine Dragon, with power levels of 49 over 50, giving them a 98% scalability. And I'm sure you guys already guessed it, they're going to be wielded respectively by Mr. Dion Wei and Guan Yu. Alright, so Dynasty Warriors 3, Dion Wei and Guan Yu among the strongest of all time. Cool to see that. Let's go ahead and move on to number 7. Next up, coming in at number 7, we got another lone character taking the top position here. We're revisiting Dynasty Warriors 4, the second strongest weapon from Dynasty Warriors 4, with a power base level of 59 over 60, obviously missing just 1 point. The name of the weapon is the Earth Shaker, and I'm sure you guys can tell by the way it looks that's going to belong to obviously Mr. Shu Chu. Shu Chu coming in at number 7 among the strongest weapons of all time. I guess I gotta compensate him for something. For the way they made him in the games, and being among the strongest, I think that's pretty cool to see. Moving on to the next one. Alright, coming in at number 6. From this list on, these are the strongest weapons from each of the games respectively, again, except for the ones that I mentioned earlier. Starting off with Dynasty Warriors 9. I'm putting Dynasty Warriors 9 at the bottom. I just feel like the weapons just aren't that important in terms of strength. But anyway, power level max of 576. Only 2 weapons from the game has that level. And the first one is the Demonic Club, or the different variations of the club. And then you have also the Silken Illusion, which is only wielded by Xin Xiangyi. The club can be wielded by Huang Gai, Hua Xiong, Shu Chu. There might be one more that I'm missing, but those are the 3 I can think of off the top of my head. Those are the strongest weapons at a base level from Dynasty Warriors 9. Their power level is the max 576, and those are the only 2 weapons from the game that has that level. Let's go ahead and move on to the top 5. Alright, coming in at number 5, we have 2 people coming in to take the number 5 position. The game we are on is Dynasty Warriors 5. Both of these characters have a base attack level of 40, and the weapon's name is the Sky Scorcher and the Trump Deck. Of course, you can tell who the first one's wielded by, and that's going to be Mr. Lu Bu. And then, if it wasn't obvious, the other weapon is wielded by Mr. Zuo C. I was actually extremely shocked to see that Zuo C and Lu Bu are tied in power level in Dynasty Warriors 5. I had to double check it. I was like, there's no way. But it is. Look it up. Trump Deck is on the same level as the Sky Scorcher from Dynasty Warriors 5, making these 2 weapons the strongest weapons from Dynasty Warriors 5. And then coming in at number 4, we have another couple of characters coming in to take the number 4 position for the strongest weapons of all time. The game that they reign supreme in is Dynasty Warriors 3. They both have a power level of 50, and the names of the weapons are the Demon Slayer and the Earthly Mace. Sure, you can tell that these weapons belong to Lu Bu and Shu Chu. So Lu Bu and Shu Chu share the exact same power level in Dynasty Warriors 3. They have the strongest weapons from that game at a base level, and it makes sense. You know, it makes a lot of sense. Coming in at number 3, we've got the strongest weapon from Dynasty Warriors 7. This character stands alone at the top with a power level of 100, while he wields the weapon, the Conqueror's Albert. And only one person in Dynasty Warriors 7 is wielding that weapon, and that is Mr. Lu Bu. So Lu Bu taking the 3rd spot by himself. It makes sense. He had the strongest weapon in Dynasty Warriors 7, and that's what I was really comparing everybody else's numbers to. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and move on to number 2. Next up, coming in at number 2, the second strongest weapon of all time in all of the Dynasty Warriors games is going to come from Dynasty Warriors 8 with a power level of 79. The weapon, the explosive halberd, once again being wielded by Mr. Lu Bu. Lu Bu stands at the top of the summit again for this. And the reason I put Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors 8 over Dynasty Warriors 7, I just feel like he's tougher to beat in that game than he is in Dynasty Warriors 7. Even though the power levels are, I guess, lower, like he has 79 versus the 100. But I just feel like he's much stronger in Dynasty Warriors 8, so I'm going to put Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors 8, his halberd at number 2. They could be interchanged, but that's just why I put him here. Let's go ahead and reveal the number 1 strongest weapon from Dynasty Warriors of all time. You guys have a guess of what it is? Let's go ahead and see if you're right. Finally, coming in at number 1, topping the charts with a power level of 60 from the game Dynasty Warriors 4. The name of the weapon is Maelstrom. Does anybody, it's a little bit different. Does that ring? I'm not gonna put the picture up just yet. Anybody know what that means? Anybody know what that is? Maybe you already do. This is the picture of the weapon. Yeah, you probably do now. To me, this is the strongest weapon in all of the Dynasty Warriors games, and it comes from Mr. Lu Bu once again. For me personally, Lu Bu is the strongest in Dynasty Warriors 4. There is nothing like Lu Bu in Dynasty Warriors 4, and there has never been a Lu Bu like Dynasty Warriors 4 since. Like every Lu Bu after that, yes, they're challenging, but Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors 4 was on a different level, and for me personally, he's going to take the number 1 spot with the strongest weapon of all time from the Dynasty Warrior series. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I have. Counting down all the numbers here. Of course, there's like 50 of them. But again, you know, they had identical power levels and all that stuff. I had to put multiple there instead of just stretching it out and trying to decide. I'm not going to do all that. I just thought it would be better to put them all together. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have for the video. Did you guys notice anything weird about it? The only game that Lu Bu was not, he wasn't even in the top 24 was Dynasty Warriors 9. You guys notice that? His weapon from Dynasty Warriors 9 is actually weaker than the ones that I mentioned in Dynasty Warriors 9. At a base level, it's weaker. His strongest one, I was like, that's insane. But every other game, he tops the chart in. It makes sense. He should be up there. But anyway, guys, all I have for the video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Was it surprising to see anybody? Did I miss anything? What do you guys think? You know, with abilities and stuff like that, I'm sure the list will be different, but it's just, there's a lot of information to get all that information for each character's weapons and what they do and stuff. So I just went off of the base attack and then compared that to other games and their base levels and stuff like that. This is the most accurate list that I could get, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed the video. Anyway, guys, all I have. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.